It all begins with a spark. A spark kindles into a flame, and the flame spreads like a wildfire. It burns brighter till it becomes a supernova, changing everything you thought you knew. A path appears, and you walk roads less traveled, roads that spiral inward to your core. You pass by healing waters that bring clarity of mind and that ease the heart. Guides appear before you. They walk alongside you in the Fool's Journey. Welcome to a Wildfire and Earth audio experience. My name is Bradley, and this is my journey, but it is also yours. To connect with our magic, we all must walk the Fool's Journey, raise the vibe, heal the tribe. Chapter 1, The Magician. Power plays upon his hands, wind, rain, fire, and land. If he can dream it, the world is at his command. Powers of insight, ruler of his domain, learn the secrets and never be the same. Element, Earth. Zodiac, Capricorn. Blessings, magic. The challenge, balance. Living a magical life is not fairy dust, unicorns, and dragon slaying. Don't get me wrong, you'll definitely slay dragons, but not all dragons have scales. Your angels may not appear to you in bright shining clouds of glory and a heavenly chorus. I'm not saying that they can't. However, it takes a lot of energy to manifest a whole heavenly host on our plane, so I wouldn't get your hopes up. Instead, angels, spirits, and other beings communicate on our realm in different ways. In Chapter 1, we will talk about psychic ability. Whether you see spirit is defined by your psychic ability. You can also hear it, see clues through signs like 1111, divination, or other physical means. For the most part, you will find patterns and synchronicities are used often with spirits and angels. It's all about noticing the grand design unfolding. If we believe that all life is connected through energy and frequency, then won't there be ripples in our direction when something is about to happen? For example, scientists predict the weather by examining patterns and record keeping to predict what will happen next. They only get it right about 75% of the time. It's a common joke in my hometown that if we were as terrible at our job as weathercasters, then we'd be fired. It's funny, but at the same time, it illustrates a huge point I'm about to make. You're psychic. Yes, you. You obviously know that if you picked up this book in the esoteric or occult section of your bookstore. Thank goodness for Barnes & Noble. Doesn't smell amazing in there? Anyway, you are not going to be right 100% of the time. Gasp. I know. Don't panic. Even the best athletes only have about a 50% average during their season. Yes, I just made a sports reference. If you know me, be amazed and astounded. I know some sports, don't get crazy. I still can't keep score. There are some amazing, gifted, and talented psychics out there who have bad days. They may not say your father's name perfectly, but I want you to understand they may actually be talking to your father. It is also up to the spirit and energy around each other that helps messages come in clearly. Sometimes, like now, Mercury will be in retrograde and all hell breaks loose. So give these people and your blossoming gifts a break. People make mistakes. Psychics have good days and bad days. You will get something wrong, I assure you. Don't get hung up on it. Keep going. It is okay to fail. At least you showed up and gave spirit a listening ear. My favorite story is about my client, Nan McLean. You see, I began seeing her earlier in my practice. For a while, she couldn't visit because her Parkinson's disease didn't allow her to brave the stairs. I was working in a salon at the time with an upstairs studio. Nan's first visit happened downstairs in a salon chair among hair dryers and curling irons because the salon was downstairs and stairs were a point of trepidation for her. Nan never forgot her first experience. I remember her being surprised that Reiki could affect her the way it did. Cut to a few months later, I am traveling to her house once a week because her disease has made her housebound. I performed light Reiki and reflexology on her each session. For 6 weeks, I told her something was wrong on the right side of her head and neck. She shrugged off my concerns, certain that it was merely scar tissue. A few months before she had had a procedure done with electrodes were attached to her brain to stimulate regions that dealt with her tremors. The battery pack was placed in her right chest, and the wires ran from there up to her neck to her brain. She said what I was picking up was the pack. Finally, after 6 weeks of listening to my steady, gentle advice, Nan called her neurologist. He got her in immediately. That worried her. For another 6 weeks, I didn't hear from her. Unbeknownst to me, Nan was having emergency surgeries to remove the wires and battery pack because 4 different types of infection had settled into her apparatus. We were both right. It was her battery and wires, and something was definitely wrong. My hands and intuition picked up on something she couldn't. Her body wasn't signaling anything wrong. She felt healthy as ever, but she was slowly succumbing to a vicious infection. It was silently killing her. Shortly after she got done with her surgeries and rehab, Nan bumped into me in the grocery store. She walked up to me and said, "I don't know whether to kiss you or slap you." She continued to tell me about her battle with the infections, her stint at the hospital, and the painful recovery. She looked at me in amazement and said, "You knew all along. Bradley, you saved my life." She looked at me with tears streaming down her face. "Why didn't you make me call sooner? I could have died." I told her it's because I didn't trust myself. I was still learning how everything worked, and I took her opinion over my intuition. I failed her. And she said, "You didn't fail me." Nan put her hands on my shoulders. "You failed yourself. Now don't you ever mistrust yourself again. Believe in yourself. Your power saved my life." And she's right. Spirit did save her life. My gifts are here to help heal people. Help them see where rot and infection is in their body, mind, and spirit. Not every disease or problem is physical. I can see them all. Never mistrust yourself. As you walk this journey, listen to your inner wisdom. That inner voice will not let you down. Learn to see as I see and trust in your power. Now, let's press on, shall we? We've come to grips with the fact that we're not going to be 100% accurate. How do you ensure that you are 100% ready to go? When you recognize that your voice inside your head that pretends to be you and never stops speaking, you are awakening out of your unconscious identification with the stream of thinking. When you notice that voice, you realize that who you are is not that voice, the thinker, but the one who is aware of it. Eckhart Tolle. Creating sacred space. Go within. Find your center. Find that quiet place. We have all heard these yogic mantras before. The thinker, the heart, the Holy Spirit, the soul, the silent witness. It goes by many names because it has been discovered and rediscovered by many people in many places. As a race, humanity is very forgetful. History is written by the conquerors and the ones in power. Stories don't always survive from generation to generation. Sometimes the narrative doesn't fit the times. Sometimes it is slaughtered as clans and tribes are killed off or die out. I call this inner wisdom and thinker the silent witness. Each new iteration of the silent witness brings each subsequent generation to collective consciousness. The Akashic records, the Book of Life, the Kabbalistic secrets all dwell here. There is a rhyme and reason deep in this quiet place. The chaos of the outside world fades away, and you are able to perceive infinity, the perfect tessellation of the universe. How do you get down to this silent witness? Taking that step is the beginning of shamanic work and journey. For me, it begins as I create sacred space. Sacred space is essential for your protection, healing, and self-awareness. Creating sacred space readies our mind, body, and soul to commune with spirit within and without of ourselves. Think of sacred space as a microcosm of the universe. We create a sphere of influence that we work ritual, ceremony, and journey in. What is done in the circle is sent out at the end of each work. Remember, as above, so below. What happens in the circle affects the outside world. It ripples through the fabric of the universe, seeking out your intent for your highest good. The reason each of us has the sovereignty to do this is found within our birthright. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. Wrap your head around that for a second. You are a spiritual being. Just by being you, your birthright gives you power and dominion over your reality. Learning this was a hard pill for me to swallow. Wait, so you're saying I chose this broken relationship? My aunt chose to be broken in body and mind at age of 16? I wanted to be in that car wreck as a teenager. I wanted to see someone die before my eyes, witness their last breath. Yes, you choose each and every experience. With your thoughts, you send out the desire of your heart. Your heart creates energy that is sent out on the waves of the thought, constantly drawing experiences that match your frequency. The esoteric community calls this the law of attraction. Like calls to like. Quite simple, really. When you own your thoughts and guard them, you begin taking measures to adjust or even transform your reality to create the perfect place for your soul to exist. Sacred space will help you do this with focus and intent. But the mystery is to walk in this way at all times. Be sovereign at all times. Manifest the right thoughts for your soul's purpose. Creating sacred space, an exercise in spiritual protection and connection. You do not need any tools or instruments to create sacred space. The power is in your intent and will. Think it, believe it, and so shall it be. Start and stand facing the east. Raise your hands in invocation. As I speak, I lower my hands and visualize a golden curtain being pulled down. The barrier or shield is gossamer and opaque, but strong as spider silk. Hail, powers of the East, sanctuary of fire and the soul, bless and consecrate this space. May passion spur my will to fight. Walk or turn to the south. Raise your hands again, and as you speak, lower them in the same manner as you did before. Hail, powers of the south, halls of air and the mind. Bless and consecrate this space. May my thoughts be clear and concise. Walk or turn to the west. And again, raise your hands and lower them as you speak like before. Hail, powers of the west, fountain of water in the heart, bless and consecrate this space. May my intent ripple outward for the highest good. Walk or turn to the north. Hail, powers of the north, temples of earth and the body. Bless and consecrate this space. May my body be able and willing. Turn towards the center of the circle. Raise your hands and then lower them as you say, as above, so below. Put your arms straight out and then move them towards your heart, placing them in a prayer position. As without, so within. Father and Mother, I thank you for this moment. I come in gratitude for all the work you do on my behalf, seen and unseen. I thank you for my breath, my pulse, my thoughts. They are the tools of creation, left behind long ago for us to find. Thank you for guiding me through this life. Guard and protect this space as I work. As my guardians and guides join hands with me, we praise you. In Yeshua's name we pray. Amen. Note: choose any deity you like for this exercise. It should feel real to you. Connect within your soul. The more of a connection, the stronger the work. Play around with it, and we'll talk more about this in subsequent chapters. For now, that is a great way to protect your room, your home, and your place of work. We will discuss other ways of creating this space and altering it for your specific needs. But for now, practice raising this circle and get it down where it is second nature. Warning: you will stumble through words. You will blank out. You will skip parts or go in the wrong direction even. That's okay. Just go with the flow. Laugh at yourself as spirit smiles down, and know that it is perfect for this moment, for your path. Not everyone is hooked on pomp and circumstance. It's okay to wing it. The most important thing is your intent and your will behind the creation. That is the key. Practice, practice, practice. I'm serious. Do this until you can do it in your sleep, backwards and forwards. It's going to take dedication. It will take time. How do you think musicians learn and grow? They practice. You will never know what you are capable of until you just do it. For some, we need permission to act. For others, you just do it. Either way, I'm telling you to go practice. This is your invitation to unleash your inner wisdom. How do you feel right now after raising this sacred space? I always feel at home in sacred space. It feels like a warm hug, like being wrapped up in a warm blankets on a crisp October morning. Perfection. What do you notice about the room when you perform this exercise? For me, the air always seems to get thicker, and sound carries with a ping or a sharp echo sometimes. The air feels a little more dense or palpable, and there's a tiny pressure fluctuation that I detect in my inner ear. If you perform a ceremony or ritual, or if you raise energy, you will want to release the circle. For journeys or dream work and sometimes healing work, I leave the circle as it is. Its power will dissipate naturally and flow where it needs to go. Releasing the circle gives it a magical little boost. It's like throwing a rock in the pond. Whoosh! It ripples out into eternity. Now, to release the circle, raise your hands and push them down like you're parting the Red Sea. The circle is dispelled but never broken. I visualize it rippling outward in an ever-widening ring, seeking my goals and dreams and manifestation. The energy will find similar frequencies and bring them back. A note on visualization and spell work. Some ripples will return sooner than others. Think of visualization and spell work like ordering something from Amazon. Some shipments come all at once or in smaller packages, so you can get little gifts in a timely manner. Don't judge the efficacy of your work on whether it brought you exactly what you needed. Instead, focus on the gifts, tools, and lessons it brings to place you in the most ideal spot to manifest your will. You can move any mountain one shovel at a time. It's usually not that arduous, but it can be. Let's say you wished for a brand new sports car. Just because a new Porsche doesn't show up with a big red bow doesn't mean your ritual didn't work. The universe, I love that I just said ritual instead of ritual just there. Little funny there for you. The universe may offer you a promotion. That's Ripple 1 returning. Then it helps you get a 401k that has a policy where you can borrow against yourself. That's step 2. An email arrives in your inbox that it's from the sports car dealership. That's step 3. You walk into the dealership and your cousin or friend or uncle is in the car and he's the salesman. That's step 4. They cut you a big deal, because you're friends. Your payments are perfect. That's step 5. You now hold the keys to that Porsche you've always dreamed of. It's yours. No, it didn't just show up on your doorstep. You still had to do the legwork to help it manifest, but the universe was there guiding you all the way. In 5 easy steps, you manifested your goal for you. Sometimes the steps take more time to return. It doesn't mean your spell has been ineffective. It means that something in your journey or your thoughts could possibly be blocking you. You're being met with resistance, or it's just not for your highest good. I can wish to be the Queen of England, but that is more than likely not going to happen. Unless, of course, I perform shady or immoral acts which the universe very well could lead me to. I would use common sense to understand that the price of failure would be intolerable at best and deadly at worst. Use discernment in all things. There is a darkness and a light inherent in the universe. Without one, the other does not exist. So it must be to keep the universe in balance. Choose the steps that feel right, the ones that sing to your soul. Make your heart pitter-patter and leap. That's the right choice. The Hopi have a saying, the longest journey you'll ever take is the walk from the heart to the head. Lesson 2. The Dream Journal. When you first begin to experience psychic or paranormal phenomena, you may not always get clear and concise information. I know this was the case with me, so pay attention to this next part. Either you're not tuning into the right frequency, or spirit is trying to talk to you in a way you have not perceived yet. Sometimes the signal will come in spotty. I joked about Mercury retrograde, but seriously, watch out. Mercury is the planet of communication. Obviously, talking to the dead falls within his domain. Mercury, or Hermes, as the Greeks called him, flew back and forth from the realm of the gods on Mount Olympus to the mortal realm to carry out orders and messages between the living and the divine. At some point, he got tired, so he hired shamans, and that is how the first shaman was born. That is not canon. You won't find that in Aristotle or Plato's works. Although fascinating, I like the idea. We no longer walk among gods and monsters. We walk among mortals, and we're set apart. We're gifted. The divine speaks to everyone. But I look at it like this. Everyone can sing. Not everyone can sing well. So you have to find your niche. Over the next few chapters, we'll explore various ways to communicate with spirit and to fine-tune the dial so you can tap into a clear message. One great way to start is a dream journal. Spirit can't always get our attention when we're out there living life. Sometimes spirit has to wait until you're unconscious to deliver the messages. Your dreams are amazing portals into your own mind. They spark imagination and wonder in all of us. Are they literal or symbolic? Are they prophetic or vague? Are they true or are they just processing through daily life? I say a little bit of all of the above. Some dreams are just that, run-of-the-mill, wake-up naked in class dreams. Some dreams are mysterious and we want to dive deep into their meaning, picking them apart piece by piece. Those are my favorite. There are still others, dreams that carry messages. We see a lost loved one, and they say our aunt or mother's name. They give you a message, and you are able to deliver that to the recipient. Marcia Norman said, dreams are illustrations from the book your soul is writing about you. The funny thing about dreams is they fade quickly after we wake from sleep. When we consciously begin processing things, our mind has to push it away what isn't needed for day-to-day life. Think about it like closing an app. The dream state is an app, and it closes upon waking. Therefore, the system's memory, our brain, writes over it in an attempt to conserve space and be efficient as possible. Bye-bye dream memories. They vanish nearly as soon as you sit up. We've all experienced this dream amnesia. The easy remedy for this is to keep a dream journal near your bedside. Keep a fresh pen or pencil and write down your dreams as soon as you wake up, the moment you wake up. When the alarm goes off, hit snooze, but instead of falling back asleep, like I'm prone to do, write down your recollections of your dreams from the night before. I recommend drawing the symbol for the moon. A crescent or a full moon combo even is traditional. You can use Mercury's symbol. This would suit very nicely as well. He can help strengthen the message. Feel free to draw any other symbols on the book of your choosing. Use symbols that tap into your dream world, like poems or quotes about dreams. Write them in there. Whatever gets you inspired. It isn't satanic worship to use symbols, for heaven's sake. Symbols inspire the mind to react in certain ways. Remember, that dream you just had is going to be fading very fast. So write down the major themes, key characters, a plot, perhaps even snippets of the dialogue if you can recall. If not, skip to time, place, feeling. Okay? Time, place, feeling. Those are the most important. Your entry may look something like this. October 17th. I fell down a tree. I kept hitting branches. Heron, monkey, zebra. We talked about berries. One was poisonous. The other toucan ate a worm. It was sunny, hot, and I felt safe. There you go. It took 30 seconds to write that. Then back to bed I went. Understand this. Remembering will get easier and easier. As you practice every morning, make a routine. You will find that your brain begins to recall more and more. You are able to tap into the dreams for longer periods, and before you know it, you're writing with more detail. You can remember full conversations, and you may even be able to recall it later in the day. Don't let those dreams fade. They have meaning for you. Some are just for you. They are about your personal path, your journey, and what you are completing in this life. Others will have messages for friends, family, your community, and sometimes even the world. Did you know millions of people reported horrifying and catastrophic dreams days before 9/11? Yes, the collective ripple from that event touched so many lives. The cosmic effect was huge. Many psychics saw it months in advance. Many reported it to authorities. That's why we have records of it. Don't believe me? Look it up yourself. You will be astounded at what is out there. The evidence does not lie. Every week or once a month, go through your dream journal. What are the overarching themes? What do you notice? Is there a person or place that appears often? Who are you usually talking to? Are there any repeating dreams? Pay close attention to those. They are usually very important. Make note of these and give the messages that you receive. As Maya Angelou once said, when you get, give. When you learn, teach. Psychic ability exists. and you are on the threshold of understanding how you fit into the world of spirits and the divine. Keep shining brightly, my embers. Many blessings.